Hello, viewers. Welcome to the part two of this interview. So, in the first part, I'm sure you must have learned about how Mr. Brand Swamy sir got into journalism and got pivoted there into this copywriting field, into this field of copywriting. And I was so tempted to ask what difference does he experience while making this transition. But he is a born storyteller and a born copywriter and a born writer. I could sense from his journey. So rather, instead of asking that question, I would like to ask you, sir, that your journey, I think your journey, this unconventional journey that you had, it shaped you as a person and as a copywriter. So, but there are many people who enter into this field without any prior experience, with only equipped with bookish knowledge. So, to them, what would you like to tell?
Yeah. Hey, that's an interesting question. So people say awards are won in streets. So basically, life is more important than any learning, according to me. So when I learn something, when I read something, how do I understand from a common man's perspective? Especially when it comes to copywriting, it is all about making something that is that is a technical thing converted into a common man's language. So, but to understand a common man's language, you should know their life. Only those who know the life can write for them. Suppose it's a different kind of people. Common man is not just living in the rural part of the country. A city, urban person is also a common man. A businessman is also a common man. A billionaire is also a common man. Somebody who is living in a slum or a gut he's a common man. And somebody who is living in a five-star luxury property, he's also a common man. So to shift between this paradox of life, okay, from the slums to the five-star facilities, you should understand both sides of the life. So in my life, I always try to identify and to be with people of different strata of life, the millionaires, billionaires, and also very common people you see in the general compartments of Indian Railway, where you see it in the suburban trains, where you see it in the general compartments of the Indian Railway, or you see them in the truck drivers. So how do you understand the life of these two different people? And as a copywriter, you have to write for both parties. It is not just for the common man; it is not for the five-star people. So you read the life of a very big successful person, but you don't understand their life unless and until you are exposed to such a lifestyle. When you are reading about a common man story, you don't understand it unless and until you get exposed to a slum. So this life is more important to conceive something that is written, or you see it in a video by learning something. So the life is more important, but it is not. I'm not negating the importance of reading and learning new things through different platforms. It is not just about books. It is not just about videos. Whatever platforms, learn it and try to compare it with the actual life that you live or you understand. So this is very important.
So, sir, that also takes me back to my question that you pivoted from a journalist to a copywriter. Journalists, they write for the elites. They write, suppose you were saying sports journalism, so the sports people, they are very creative with their words, they write, but the reader base is mostly elite. So sir, how was this transition from an elite journalist, because you transformed Manorama's magazine, you also catered to a foreign audience, foreign language, you optimized the paper for that to cater to the abroad, to people who are staying abroad. So how this transition occurred and what it was like for you?
That's very simple, Saurabh. According to me, that's a very simple thing. Because when I'm writing for a journalism or a sports or a magazine, I just know my target audience. When I'm writing for a copy for a soap, for example, I just to understand my target audience. It is all about asking one simple question to the brief that you are getting. Why? Why am I doing it? And who is my target audience? If you know your target audience, and if you have a life experience with that kind of a target audience, then writing is a process that automatically comes. Whenever I'm writing for a science magazine, for example, medical emerging magazine, my targets are doctors. When it comes to I'm writing for Malabar Gold, my target audience is somebody who is want to get some one sovereign of gold.
Yeah.
So this transition is all about understanding the market. A copywriter is a very common man. Okay, there is nothing called writing. It is all about understanding. Once you understand it, you can transform it into words. So understanding the target audience is important if you are writing for a magazine, if you are writing for an online magazine, if you are writing for a journal, if you are writing for an advertisement copy, or if you are writing a script. Anything. In that case, even if you're writing a film, you should understand your target audience. It
But
is
sir,
all about,
sir,
yeah, yeah.
my question is, if you write about Virat Kohli, say you write about football in Kerala or football in India, Sunil Chetri, or you write about cricketing legends like Virat Kohli and Sachin Tendulkar, then you assured that your reader base will be in lakhs, millions, or in crores. But sir, here you are taking a shift from popular sports writing or from journalism that has potential to be read by crores or even more than crores of people to copywriting. So, sir, what made you to change to transition to this?
No, sort of that's also again for me. I don't mind whom am I writing for. Is it one person? I used to write for one person, for example. I'm working with very premium logistic and shipping companies. My total, like I used to work for, oil and field, oil industry. My total client base is five. There are only five clients in the world who can afford my product. But I am writing for five people in the world. But for me, writing is a process. This five people, 50,000 people, 5 million people are same. There is absolutely no logical difference between writing for one person and writing for 500 people. It's all
Beautiful,
about writing. It's all about making them understand what I'm trying to do. I'm
beautifully
writing a
said.
novel. Maybe I'm writing for 50,000 people. Maybe writing for 5 million copies. What difference does it make? No difference. Absolutely no difference. I'm writing only for Saurav. I'm happy because I have a reader. Saurav is my reader. I'm happy about it. My only question is that, do I know Saurav when I'm writing for you? Maybe I'm writing for a Virat Kohli. I'm writing on Virat Kohli and 50 million people reading it. I should know Virat Kohli and I should know 50 million people. I'm writing for Saurabh. I just have to know about you. Then the process is same. Only the number of audience is different. So it's all about understanding your material and all about understanding your target audience. In that case, writing for one person, writing for 100 million people are same, and there is absolutely no difference between this.
Sir, I'm so fortunate to have this masterclass in my channel, sir. I mean, it's a red letter day for me today. So, sir, this brings me to the next question. There are books, there are resources like YouTube videos. So, what resources do you think every ad professional should consume? Be it books or YouTube videos or anything.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm a book person in that way. Book person, and off late I started seeing documentaries. I read a lot in that way. I spend every day. I wake up at 4 o'clock and I read or I study something till 7 every day. 3 hours of learning is my process from the days of my life, very early days. I read whatever I get in that sense. But if you look at me, I have seen people reading a lot of motivational things of late. But I feel the people should read biographies. If you read the full biography, for example, when I was reading Leonardo da Vinci, I should read his biography, maybe an 800-page book. If you read that full biography in one stretch, you will realize that what are the transformational phases that he has been going through in his life. When I'm reading Founders. Founders is the biography of PayPal in that way. How PayPal is, conceived, how PayPal is transformed the entire, e-commerce platforms in the late century. Or I read Steve Jobs, how that story comes in. How I read the publisher, how I read when I'm reading the publisher, how Time Magazine, Fortune Magazine, Sports Illustrated Magazine has been making such an impact. His journey from China to America and becoming the best and the biggest publisher in the world. Or when I'm reading Snowball, how as a kid, as a teenager, Warren Buffett making small amount, for example, $2,000 by selling snowballs or by selling newspapers in the streets of US. How that same strategy is being adopted when he becomes an investor. So this kind of a life stories. Off late I was reading the very famous Buddha's biography. So when I realized that how Buddha created such a wonderful organization called Buddhism, just by walking on the streets with they were trying to beg something and they were getting something, but how that journey, how he worked with the royal families of that time. We always see Buddha has evolved from a common man. So actually it's not the story. He actually worked with the rulers of this country and they actually donated him everything. So this story of his life give us a lot of inputs in terms of how to tackle different problems of your life. When it comes to copywriting, I would say this knowledge is. I can tell you one example. One of the clients wanted me to write a copy for an organic company targeting the IT sectors. So they come with me brief. I wrote this copy. Apple is made of carrot. Apple is our symbol, Apple symbol, Apple logo. How Apple is made of carrot and a carrot's picture. And I put it in the hoarding with no other information except one URL. So I learned this from the books. When I was reading Steve Jobs, I know that he was having only organic food from his farm. And when they go to this URL, I know that Steve Jobs is a very readable content. So IT people will always come into this URL. When they come into this URL, I will just put one line. If he had been taking bad food, Apple would have been born, would not have been born. Subscribe to our organic food. So I came to this copy only because I read his biography. I read Leonardo da Vinci. I read Elon Musk. In that case, reading biography is the mandate for every copywriter, according to me. Don't read copywriting classes. Don't give master classes on the copywriting. You read biographies. Biographies of every possible person. Irrespective of his field, read biographies. You will learn life. Life is all about copywriting.
Beautifully said, sir. Beautiful. Sir, who are the personalities whom you admire the most? They may not belong to the same industry that you are in. So, who are the personalities and what you try to learn from them?
Absolutely. Okay, I should start with my father because very early stage of my life, my father exposed to me to life. He, no, I have. He hasn't given me any money in my life, so he gives me jobs. Okay, so we had a chit company. It's not a company; it's an unorganized chit initiative. So he told me, Joby, you run it. When I was studying 8th standard, he told me, Joby, you run it. So I have to collect 10 rupees from different people and start running. Every week we take the lucky draw and we will give the money to some person. So it gives me kind of education in the how to handle money. And my father was running a tea shop where I used to have my breakfast every day. So all the people in my locality comes here, discuss politics, discuss finance, discuss agriculture. So I used to live with them. So this is one person, my father and my mother, give me the real life exposure. And that is the one person who changed my life. The second person is my journalism teacher. I should say Ignatius Gonsalves. He's an Anglo-Indian. And he taught me two lessons in my life. One is whenever you write, he told me write it for Kuttaparan Kattapana. Okay, that's a phrase he used, I still remember. Kuttaparan Kattapana. Kattapana is the very rural region in Kerala, which is supposed to be a poverty-ridden region. And whenever you write anything, ensure that the Kuttapan is the illiterate man in that region. He should understand your code. This is the biggest lesson in my life since then, and I keep understanding that lesson in my life. Whenever I write for Kattapan and Kuttapan. So this is a simple second lesson I learned. And if you look at me from other people, some of the very important people like Elon Musk, for example, what I learned from Elon Musk is that When I was reading founders, I realized that when he started a company called X.com, Z.com. So what happened is that X.com is he wants to create an X.com company. But when investors came in, they decided that opt for PayPal. After 20 years, when he bought Twitter, because of his passion towards that name, because of his consistency, he changed the company's name to X.com. Twitter would have been a wonderful name. But for him, his consistency, his passion towards what he was doing, that was very important. And he consistently pursuing a dream, despite making a lot of crores, a lot of money on the other side. He passionately chased his dream of creating a stock. And this is something always inspiring me. I started many of my company, for example, Brand Swamy started a very long time back. I created the logo in 2015. I started the company in 2021. 6 years I sat on this particular logo because I wanted to create it someday. I create a logo, I keep it there. I take the trademark and I keep it there. And finally, it's my every day morning I wake up to the reality that there is something called Brand Swamy is waiting for me. Joby, you should pursue. Joby, you should pursue. Now I am pursuing something called Monastery of Love. It's a sustainable living company. Last 2 years, every Saturday, I am bringing 40 people into my house. We talk about sustainable living. We talk about how to live fruitfully without stress. So 2 years, I have been pursuing this dream of Monastery of Love. And my in the next 10 years, my plan is to take it big way as a business. So these are the two important lessons in my life. Fight for the Katapanela Kuttapane and pursue your dream. Don't give up your dream. Whenever you have a dream, people laugh at you, but don't give up. And different people taught me only these two lessons in my life.
So wonderful, sir. Sir, what would you like to tell to someone who is looking to enter into this domain?
Ha, there's a good question. I have only one advice to you. If you want to come to copywriting, ensure that you come out of your room every day at least for an hour and sit in the tea shop, sit in the IT park, sit in the slums, travel in general compartment of the train, and travel on a bicycle. And however you travel, you ensure that you always talk to your strangers. Always try to make and talk to strangers around you. That is the only lesson you want to learn when you come to copyright. Rest are all theories. It doesn't work in your life. Only these life lessons will help you in life.
Beautifully said, sir. Beautifully put. And sir, finally, sir, I have been to your YouTube channel. So from there, there are some videos in Malayalam. I could not understand those, of course, but the ones in English, I could I could get gems of insights and information from them. So I would request you to please keep going. There are some videos like for some time you have not uploaded the videos, and I would be tagging your YouTube channel in this video, I mean in this interview, so that people can also go to your channel and please look into it. And sir, what are your plans to revive your channel and to put out some really high value, high quality content out there, sir?
So, sort of my plan is to like I'm very serious about my content creation in the next years to come. So basically, all my YouTube channels talks about sustainability, sustainable life. When I talk about sustainable life, I would say how to be happy. Okay, like how what makes you happy. Okay, it's not about the money that you make you happy. It is about what you do make you happy. So I'm as I told every month I'm bringing 40-50 people to my cluster, adding more people. I am talking to them, and I want to make people enjoy every bit of life. So one of my friend who is with me in this project, he used to tell me cooking is the most interesting suspect thing if you do mindfully. So I am trying to build as a platform where people understand different lessons of life. Implement it, which can be implemented in any profession you are. Look at you are a CEO, but if you don't have a peace of mind, how do you run that organization? If you don't know how to manage your time, then how do you actually make your progress? So I am this particular YouTube channel or my company called Monastery of Flowers building is a lot of curriculum and a lot of interactive programs in the coming months. We are starting in January 6th. with our first residential program with one of the best India's therapeutic yoga practitioner. So we are conducting residential programs and we create content out of it and we start uploading it in the next year. So that is the plan. It's all about happy living.
Beautiful, sir. Beautiful. And I wish all the good luck, all the,
Thank you so much, Gaurav.
like God's every bit of if whatever you are planning to do and whatever you are envisioning is so, it is so beyond money and beyond materialistic things. So more power to you, sir. Please keep on going at this, I mean, whatever you are trying to achieve. And sir, I would like to thank you very much again from the bottom
Thank you
of
so much.
my heart to be a part of this interview. And
Thank you so much.
thank you very much, sir. I thank you very much. And have a
Thank you so,
great day and a great life, sir.
thank you so much.